Well, yeah, just kind of talk about Aiden a little bit, and he's obviously the #1 guy now. Just talk to us about what you've liked, what he's done so far.
I think he's done a good job. I think the big thing with him is he gets the ball out in a timely fashion, and he's very accurate with the football. So he makes good decisions. He's very accurate, and that's important in this offense and in all offenses. But you saw quite a few throws that he's made that he's thrown it before the receivers looking, anticipating them coming open, and he's done a good job of passing the football.
Do you guys play with a different tempo with him as far as?
There's nothing intentional, no, about different tempo. I think he's done a good job of keeping drives going and alive where we haven't stalled out much when he's in there. I think he's done a good job of converting third downs, and he's been pretty efficient on first and second down. So that helps keep your tempo good.
How detailed were the discussions last week, or diving into the red zone issues as far as getting touchdowns? I mean, how deep did you guys go as a staff?
Yeah, we always are studying and trying to figure out ways to move the ball and score points, and the red zone was definitely a focus. Just studying what other teams are doing, what we've done in the past, trying to figure out why this year, as opposed to past years, we haven't been as successful. And I think we have a few things that we got our eye on that we like that we can try to use. So we'll see how it goes this week.
I mean, as a guy that played the position of the quarterback, how difficult is that strip of 20 yards when it shrinks?
Well, yes, in the red zone it definitely shrinks. So you got to make your decisions quicker. You got to be more efficient with the football. You can't be late to throws, and you can't be inaccurate because balls can get tipped in crowded areas, and it can be interceptions. So it's definitely more difficult in that area. It always helps if you can run the football down there as well, and be able to use some mass and just push some bodies. That always helps when you get down closer to the end zone.
We saw Austin get 3 plays the last week. Talk about what he brings to the offense, Brian, maybe what his role could be moving forward.
Yeah, Austin, he has a good grasp of the overall offense, but obviously you saw us get him in there for a few quarterback runs. He does bring some athleticism to the table where he can run with the football. I think he can, once he gets going, I think he can be able to make some guys miss and have some dynamicism, be a little bit dynamic in the run game. So, but he still has the full gamut of the offense. He understands it. He understands the passing game, and he's pretty good in that area as well.
Just as you look back to last year's Iowa game, other than David Bell catching it 13 times, where did you guys feel like you had success, and can some of that be repeated on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we just stayed the course in that game. Early on, maybe we weren't we did hit a few lulls, so to speak, throughout the game, but we stayed the course. We kept continuing to try to run the football, and it started to work there towards the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, where the run game started popping, and we started to get into a little bit of a rhythm. And obviously, it helps when the defense comes up big for you. And thought we played an overall really solid game, but. They're a tough defense. They're a stingy defense. They're going to make you earn it. You can't make mistakes. And you got to stay on schedule. So we'll try to do that this week.
What stands out about the number of turnovers that they've created on the defense?
They're very advantageous. They keep their eyes on the football. So they play a lot of zone. But they keep their eyes on the football, and if the ball's in the air, they're catching the ball. Like receivers in the defensive secondary, and they're trying to punch the ball out when they're tackling. So they're very advantageous. If the ball is in their vicinity, they're trying to go get it.
Schematically, Jeff said they make it hard to throw the ball over their heads by the way they play. Just give us an idea of that Iowa defensive style, and again, how they want to try to deny you guys that ability to go deep, and that's been a big part, obviously, of your 3 wins in 4 years here.
Yeah, they're a big zone team, so they're going to try to keep things in front of them, but still at the same time, with their underneath guys, try to challenge those routes as well. So they do a good job of having a great balance. They use their front four and their front seven to be sturdy and tough in the middle. And yeah, they're especially when they've played us recently, it's obvious they're trying not to let us throw it over their head. We did have success really the first 2 years against them of going deep. So you could tell the last few years they've made that an emphasis where we don't want to get beat over the top, but we're still going to have some ways to try to do that, design some things to try to get over their head. But you can tell that they're paying attention to that. They don't want us to, obviously.
Just having Payne Durham back, and how much does that maybe balance out the offense from the tight end position?
Yeah, Payne's just he's overall just really good for our team, for our offense. But he's a leader on our football team. It's great to have him back out and ready to go. And you know, he understands the offense really well. Our quarterbacks really trust him. They rely on him. There's a good trust and chemistry between really all of our quarterbacks and Payne. So they're definitely happy to see him back.
You talked about it a little bit already, but just what are the challenges in creating a game plan to where you're trying to do the things that you're comfortable with, but you're also not trying to play into the hand of, you know, what Iowa's been comfortable with on defenses?
Yeah, I think that's every week. You try to make sure you're doing the things that you're good at. You don't want to get away from this is what we're good at. You don't want to get away from that ever. So you're trying to do the things that you're good at, but then also you're trying to look for some ways that has maybe been good against the team you're going against. So you try to get a combination of those things together when you're formulating that game plan, and you know, hopefully all that comes together and it works well.
And talking about David Bell again, obviously the last 2 years he's had some pretty big games against Iowa. Just obviously he's had big games against a lot of different teams. So what is it about Iowa that, you know, maybe he steps up a little bit, like you guys get him the ball? Like,
I don't know if it's anything intentional or special about the opponent. I think David is as consistent as they come. He shows up to work every day with a great attitude, works hard. Our guys trust him. They feel good about giving him a chance on really any football. So that's really anybody we're playing. We're going to be obviously looking to get him the football and know how special he can be.
How's Jack been looking in practice since the change was made at quarterback?
He's been good. I think we had some good talks, you know, since the change. And you know, I told him, you know, last season, you know, one of the most proud moments we had was, you know, he didn't win the starting job coming out of camp, and when he got his opportunity versus Minnesota, you know, he had a great game, one of the best games that he's had. So he comes to work with a great attitude every day. You don't see him down or sulking. You know, he's coming to get better. He's working, and he has a good attitude. So I'm really happy with how he's been.